The Wolf and the Crane. One evening, Gugu was resting by the lake and was waiting to meet his friend the crane, who had promised to come by. The crane, unlike his usual punctual self, was late that day and came puffing and panting for breath when it was almost about to be night. Gugu, who was waiting for a long time since evening for Crane, was rather shocked to see that its friend came in such a restless state. Gugu offered some water to the crane, asked it to relax, and asked him what was the reason for such panic after he had relaxed a bit. The crane told him that when the crane was just about to leave to see Gugu, a wolf came near his house and asked him for some help. The wolf had a bone stuck in its throat and was suffering in pain. So it came in search of the crane and asked who, as the latter had a long beak that could reach the wolf's throat and remove the bone from there. The crane was, however, scared enough to put its head into the wolf's mouth, but the wolf begged the crane to help him. The crane was moved by the wolf's plea as it cried in pain and agreed to pull out the bone for him. The wolf was much happy to hear that. In return, the crane asked how it would benefit him to be doing this task. The wolf promised to pay a huge sum of money to the crane for doing him this favor. So the crane put its head into the wolf's mouth and let his beak into its throat, drawing out the bone. The wolf was much relieved to have had the bone removed, that he coughed a couple of times and felt all right once again. When the crane saw that the wolf was feeling a lot better, it asked the wolf for the payment that it was promised. The wolf looked carefully at the crane and laughed hysterically. It then grinned, grinded its teeth, and exclaimed, "Why, you have surely already had a sufficient recompense in having been permitted to draw out your head in safety from the mouth and jaws of a wolf." On hearing this, the crane was petrified. It did not know what to do and was scared for its life. Hence it had taken to its feet and stopped only at the sight of Gugu. Gugu feels terribly bad for the crane, but share a piece of advice that in serving the wicked, expect no reward and be thankful if you escape injury for your pains.